Um, we have some suggestions from you all. So I thought I will pick up on um, Bhishma's prayers, Bhishma Stuti, which can be done in one or two sessions. And we'll plan to do the other things as well, Mukundamala, which has 40 slokas. It's not possible to cover in just one or two sessions. It's a series of sessions, which is my desire to do Mukundamala. Uh, we'll find some time to do that one definitely. And also the other thing on the devotees, 9 devotional service, that's also we can do. So if you have Bhagavatam book or online, which is right in front of me in the other side over here, you can go to the first canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and or you can just listen. That's fine. This is on the ninth chapter. Ninth chapter, um, first canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, were entitled as the passing away of Bhīṣma Deva in the presence of Lord Krishna. So before we start, we can recite a Mangala Sloka and then we can get started. Nihama kalpataror ghalitam phalam sukamukadamrutam driva samyutam bhibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasikha bhuvi bhavakaha. The devotees are so much enlightened to relish the nectarian juice of the Vedas in the form of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And that's what it says. Nihama kalpataro. And this tree is kalpataro, the tree which satisfies, a mature tree which satisfies the desire of the devotees. And the devotees' desire is always to please Krishna. That's their desire. So those who want to please Krishna, they take shelter at the lotus feet of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, which is being spoken, came out from the lotus mouth of Sri Śukadeva Goswami. Therefore, it is a ripened fruit of all the Siddhantas, all the Vedas, Vedānta. If we can study Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, understand Śrīmad Bhāgavatam in the association of the devotees, then we have understood the essence of the Vedānta. Because the Vedānta is not easy to understand. The Vedas in a different language, of course, in the same Sanskrit, but then still it's difficult to understand. The same thing is being made easy for all of us to understand in the form of story, in the story format by Sukadeva Goswami. Therefore, this is exactly what our business is, to study Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Now, with that short note, let's go to the history of this particular situation or event that's going to have taken place in the battlefield of Kurukṣetra. Dharmakshetre Kurukṣetre Samaveda Yuyitsava Mamakha Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. The battlefield of Kurukṣetra, Dharmakshetra, is a very holy place where everyone gathered and they fought, and finally Pandavas won. It's Krishna who won the battle, but he gave the credit to the Pandavas. Everything was done, and Pandavas are back home. But Yudhishthira Maharaj was still not very happy. He was disturbed. He had a disturbed mind. Sometimes this happens. We may be expecting something in our life, and when we get it, but still we may not be very happy. For example, you wanted to achieve something in your life and you achieved it, but you may be thinking that, oh, I only wish my parents are here to see my success in my life. I had my brother, my sister, my friend, whoever it may be. They are with me. Sometimes there was one neighbor over there in this community. That person was telling, "Oh, finally we bought a house. We are so happy." And this lady was talking, and then she said, "But I only wish My mother stayed for another 2 more years. Last year, her mother passed away. So I only wish my mother was with us when we did the housewarming ceremony. It was nice. They were successful in life, but they were also not happy or for some aspect of missing out certain things, right? Sometimes we have this experience also. Likewise, Yudhishthira Maharaj was successful in his life. Pandavas were successful in his life. But then Yudhishthira was not very happy. He was not happy because he felt that he became the cause of whatever has took place so far. He became the cause of killing so many warriors, destroying the families of many soldiers, and especially his gurus and his grandfather um, put a, put his grandfather, great grandfather down, and his cousins and uncles, and so name all the relationship that he had. Everyone were present there except the woman. Ladies were not present. Otherwise, pretty much all men were there. So he was not happy, and that's how this chapter starts. Iti bhītah prajādrohāt sarvadharma vivitsaya tato vinasyanam prāgāt yatra deva vrita patat. So, because he was afraid, what I've done, I've killed so many people, and I became the cause of even Bhīṣma Deva was lying on the bed of arrows, who was going to pass away, die, is going to die. Therefore, he was disturbed at that time. So Krishna said, the details are there in in Mahabharata. Lot of details are there in Mahabharata. So Krishna at that point he speaks to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Well, if you still not convinced what you did is the right thing, you still have doubts in your mind, then you need to know the dharma. If you want to know the dharma, the only person who knows the dharma in full, who can give you good advices, is Bhishma himself. Bhishma Pitama is still alive, by the way. So he is the only one. I think I recommend you that you please go to Bhishma Dev and then clarify all the questions that you might have. Because if Bhishma passes away, if Bhishma dies, then you won't have anyone else to go and ask questions about Dharma. Quite interesting statement that Krishna says to Yudhishthira Maharaj in Mahabharata. This is how he says over there. Those details are not in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. But it is interesting that Krishna says this one to him. Krishna's dharma uh, Krishna's dharma personification. But at the same time, Bhishma is the one who knows dharma. So it's quite interesting point how Krishna is giving credit to Bhishma Dev. And also the topic that, excuse me, and also Krishna wants himself was interested to hear more from the mouth of his devotees because he gave a long class. He's quite tired. Sometimes it's nice we give classes, but it is nice to hear classes rather than giving classes. Because for hearing you don't need preparation, but for giving classes you definitely need preparation. How much ever you may, or maybe a learned person, one has to prepare for some time to give the class. Therefore, Krishna was happy now that he doesn't have to prepare. Of course, take this as a pinch of salt. It's a joke. Krishna doesn't need any preparation. But then, he was saying, let me just relax and let's hear from Bhishma. So, saying that, Krishna advised Yudhishthira Maharaj, you should go to Bhishma and clarify all the doubt that you may have. You may still have. Instead of Krishna telling anything, he said you should go. And you should, along with Krishna, Bhagavan api viprasye ratenah dhananjayah satay vyarochata nripaha kuvera iva guhya kaihi guhya kahi companion guhyakas. So he said that let's go. So Yudhishthira along with Krishna, they went and also followed by their brothers. The brothers also followed Krishna, and then they all went there. It is interesting. Now they all know this news somehow or the other spread everywhere, and everyone know this is going to be the last moment of Bhishma in this earth planet. He's going to depart from the world. Therefore, he's going to say this conversation, Sambhashanam, the conversation between Yudhishthira and Bhishma Dev is going to be a very important conversation, and it's going to give a great message to the world. Therefore, everyone who came to know about them, they all started gathering in that place. Who all gathered? Parvato Narado Dhomyo. This is Sloka 6 and 7. Bhagavan Bhadarayana Brihadosya Bharadbhajah Sashishyo Renuka Sutah Vasishta Inda Pramadas Trito Gritasamadho Stitah Kakshivan Gautama Atrishi Muni Atrishcha Kaushikosta Sudarshanah, who all gathered there. Parvata Muni, Narada Muni, Dhaumya, Vyasa, Brihadasva, Bharadvaja, Parasurama and his disciples, Vashishta, Indra Trita, Gritasamadha, Ashita, Kakshivan, Gautama, Atri, Kausika, and Sudarshan. Of course, Vyasa has been, Narada is also there, everyone is there. And not only that, Kashyapa, Angirasa, and others, and along with their disciples, all the disciples, they all gathered. Sometimes even some people become so possessive that they don't want their disciple to go and hear somewhere else. But it's because why? For whatever the reason it may be. But here is quite interesting how these great sages were open in mind and welcoming that their disciples should also hear from others. Bona fide, of course, bona fide gurus. They should also hear from others. This is how the system was. We hear not only from one, we hear the same subject from many, many different sources. As long as the sources are bona fide sources, then it's all right, okay to hear. Not just hear from anyone and everywhere. It has to fall in the teachings of Sanatana Dharma, and what our Guru has been taught us, it has to fall into the same line. Then we can hear from others also. If it's going to be something else, then it's not good. So we can learn something from here also, how minded these gurus, these rishis were at that point of time. So at the ninth sloka, Bhīṣma Dev saw all these great personalities who assembled there and mentally offered his obeisances to everyone. And first, he offered his obeisances mentally in mind to Śrī Krishna, who is present in everyone. Krishnam Chatat Prabhavajña Asinam Jagat Ishwaram Hridistam Pujayam Asa Mayayopata Vigraham. So he offered his prayers in his heart because Krishna is present in everyone's heart. So he offered his prayers to Krishna mentally. And then he saw and congratulated Yudhishthira Maharaj. In the 11th sloka, he congratulated Yudhishthira Maharaj for being successful in this battle. And then affectionately, he started speaking, very affectionately, as a great grandfather, he started speaking kind words, mentioning that what all the difficulties they all went through throughout their life. And he also remembered Kunti Devi, what she went through in her life, what all she has to go through in her life. So he's having the sweet words with a lot of love and affection. He was overwhelmed by them, seeing them. And then this happens from sloka number 12 to 24. 12 to 24, yeah. 24. So in the 24th sloka, Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshatam Kalevaram Yavadidam Himonyaham Prasanna Hasaruna Lochanosanam Mukhambuja Dhyana Patas Chaturbhujaha. So he said, may my Lord, who is four-handed and whose beautiful decorated lotus face with eyes as red as the rising sun is smiling, kindly await me at that moment when I quit this material body. This is the 24th sloka. So as he was talking all this thing, is interesting. Not only that he spoke many things. Now, when he said this one on the 25th sloka, Yudhishthira Maharaj started inquiring about certain things. He wanted to hear some advices, guidance. You want to receive all this essence of essence of the dharma from Yudhishthira, from Bhishma. So he inquired in the 25th sloka. He asked this one. Based on that, then Bhishma Dev started speaking many things, many dhana dharma, raja dharma, moksha dharma, vibhagasah, stri dharman, bhagavat dharman, samasa vyasa yogatah. This is 27th sloka. He started speaking what is dana, what is dana dharma, what is raja dharma, what is moksha dharma, and is stri dharma, bhagavat dharma, and apad dharma, and all the so much, so many. Those details are all in Bhagavat Mahabharata, where in Mahabharata, in the Shanti Parva, he speaks about Raja Dharma, what a Raja should do, Kshatriya Dharma, Apad Dharma, what one has to do during a difficult situation, challenging time in life. And also he spoke about Moksha Dharma, what are the things one has to perform towards the moksha, attaining moksha. So he spoke about all those things, many things he spoke. That was mentioned in the 27th sloka. Dharmartha Kama Mokshascha. In the 27th sloka, he also spoke about Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. And he spoke about the Varna Ashrama system. What are the duties of Varna and Ashrama? Who were situated in that. He spoke about that also. And he spoke about the occupational duties, of course. As he was speaking all these things, at that point of time, the sun courses ran towards the northern atmosphere, right? It was a desirable time for him to leave the body. It was time for him to leave the body. Of course, the devotee doesn't have to look for any time. But Bhīṣma Dev have that boon, blessing that he can leave his body at any time he wanted to. So he, he made use of that particular time and presence of Krishna. Then, as the time was going on, at that time, he said that I have spoken so many things so far. I have spoken enough so far. Let me stop speaking all these things and let me purify my conscience. Vishuddhya. This sloka says that Vishuddhaya Dharanaya Athas Shabas. That is, now I want to purify myself. I spoke so much. Now let me purify myself. Dharanaya. Let me dharanam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi in Ashtanga Yoga. This seventh one stage is called dharanam. Dharanam. Pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. This is another four on the top. So he says that let me meditate upon something. He said, let me meditate upon something at this point of time. Of course, that something is obviously very clear. It is Krishna. So you want to meditate upon Krishna as now the auspicious time is coming up and he's going to leave the body. At that point of time, he started this Stuti. Stuti means glorifying Krishna. Bhīṣma Stuti. This is called Bhīṣma Stuti. This Stuti starts from the 32nd sloka, goes up to 42nd sloka. Only 10 slokas, but packed with the messages and essences of what the Vedas, Vedāntas, and Upanishads says. Everything is packed together in this 10 capsules, easy capsules for us to understand. Because the thing is that even though Vedas, Vedāntas, Upanishads speaks about the Brahman, the absolute truth, Paramatma, but then for us to understand what it is not that easy. But when we read Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, it's so very easy. It becomes in a simple language. It becomes in a simple language for us to easily understand this is what has been said in the Upanishads, and therefore easy for us to understand. With that said, now let's get started with the 32nd verse. In our thing, it's going to be the first sloka from Bhīṣma Stuti. Shri Bhīṣma Uvacha Iti Matir Upakalpita Vitrishna Bhagavati Satvata pungave vibhumni swasukham upagata kvachit viharthum prakritim upeshu yad bhava pravaha. Itir matir. The first thing that he is telling is about the mind, matir, our thought process, our thinking, our feeling, our willingness, all those things. Now, when that comes under control, the life becomes better. When our thought is out of control, lives become miserable. That's all. In simple line, what is going to happen in this the 32nd sloka, 33rd sloka, and 34th sloka is about. Of course, 34th sloka is going to be about. We'll cover it when we get there. We'll talk about it. But then it's all about how we have to focus ourselves, our mind, in Krishna consciousness, in Krishna. And if you see these slokas, it's all about speaking about Ashtanga Yoga. That's how is doing. But Prabhu, how can we do Ashtanga Yoga at the time of death? We are supposed to be doing bhakti. But the way that Bhīṣma Dev tells here is nothing but bhakti. And what we are thinking as Ashtanga Yoga, he simplifies the Ashtanga Yoga in a way that everyone can follow Ashtanga Yoga. That's the message here. In these verses, he is telling us to do Ashtanga Yoga, but the Ashtanga Yoga that he is recommending us to do is so very simple for us to follow, which most of us are already doing things of what he is going to say. So that's what is going to happen. So Sri, let's look again. Iti mati rupakalpita vitrishna. So let me now invest. Upakalpita means let me now invest. Invest what? Invest our money, our time, and we can invest many things, right? We invest our time with our friends. We invest our time in the company that we work for. We invest our money in something, right? So we invest so many things in so many different things. Someone was asking, messaging me, sent me a video, YouTube video about, hey Lal, would you like to invest on this one? That is something where put a money and things like. So invest your money into something, right? So investing. So at this point of time, Bhīṣma Dev is, I want to invest my time. Iti matihi upakalpita, my mind, my thought, my words, my actions, everything I want to invest in something with Trishna, by freeing up my sense desires. I want to free up all the desires that satisfy my senses. I want to free them up and do what? Invest where? Bhagavati here means that Bhagavan, Bhagava, Jnana Bhala, Aishwarya Virya, Sakti Tejasu. Jnana Bhala, the Lord is the six opulences. Jnana Bhala, Aishwarya, Virya, Shakti and Tejas. So Jnana Bhala, Jnanam and Balam, the strength and the knowledge represented Bha. Aishwarya Virya is Virya, is prowess, and then Aishwaryam is Aishwaryam, you all know what it represented by Gha, and the Sakti and then effulgence, the Tejas or renunciation represented by the Va, Bhagava. Itirmati Upakalpita Vitrishna Bhagavati Satvata Pungave. That Lord, this is where it gets much interesting, the way that Bhīṣma Dev says, Satvata Pungave Vibhumni. These are two different categories. Satvata Pungave, Vibhumni. Satvata Pungave means who manifested, who manifested or appeared in Satvata Kula. Satvata Kula means devotees family. The Lord who appeared into the Satvata Kulaman, those who are devotees. Simply is that indicates is Saulabhyam. Saulabhyam, one of the qualities is called Saulabhyam, simplicity. Simplicity. The simplicity is explicitly said by this word Satvata Pungave. Well, if God is so simple, then why should I pray to him? What is I also born, he also born. Then he puts another Vibhumni, Bhumna. Bhumna means great. Bhauma Vidya. There are 32 Vidyas in Bhakti Yoga. There are 32 Vidyas are there. One of the Vidyas is called Bhauma Vidya. Bhauma means a great Vidya, knowledge of great personality. The great master, of course, Krishna. So Vibhumi means greatness. Do not think he is born uh, to in this world to some father and mother, but he is at the same time great. He is also simple. He appeared here, but at the same time, he is also great. He is great because he did not appear like Namam Karmani Limpante Name Karma Palespriha. Krishna says in the fourth chapter, right? Even though he appeared in this world, he did not appear because of karma. We are every one of us who appeared into this world, we appeared because of our not appeared. We are born into this world because of our karma. Karma is what we brought us. Karma is what was driving us all the way to do whatever we are trying to do. Karma is what's going to define our future also, right? So the karma plays a major role for us in our life. But when it comes to Krishna, karma doesn't play. Is sankalpam is wish. His wish is what is driving him to do whatever he wants. So satvata pungave vibhumni swasukam upagate kvachit viharthum swasukam. He is self-satisfied. When he does this one, he is self-satisfied. When we do certain things, rather than we being self-satisfied, we trying to satisfy others. When others are satisfied, we become satisfied. I try to get a gift. I try to make someone happy. I try to do something. Someone comes and gives me some gift. Someone say, "You're really doing very good, Prabhuji." Then I become very happy. So our sukham depends on the feedback that we get from others or the objects that we get from others, right? Our things are totally depending on the external factor for us to be satisfied. Someone making me satisfied, someone come and tell, very good, very good. I feel, oh, that touch is so nice, very good, very good. And all those different things, right? So, but sukham upagata vachit viharthum. So sukham, but the Lord is not like that. He does all this thing uh, and he's satisfied, self-satisfied. His satisfaction doesn't come from outside. This is another point for us to understand that whatever little bit we are trying to do, we should understand it's not that we are trying to satisfy Krishna. Krishna is self-satisfied. But by doing this one, what happens? Krishna get pleased. Okay, he's doing something, he's trying his best or something to satisfy me. Even though I don't need any satisfaction externally, I appreciate what this devotee is trying for me. I appreciate. So in that way, Krishna also reciprocates. Reciprocates. So what he does is that Vibhumni, that great personality, Bhauma, that great person, Prakriti means he comes into this world, took a form. That Lord, who has a transcendental form, appears into this world like one among us. It just appears one among us. Upakritim, prakritim upayeshu, yad bhava pravaha. So he appears into this world, accepting a body, and where this world itself, this is quite interesting, pravaha, the yad bhava pravaha, this world itself came from him. The world itself just came from him. But then, even though it came from him, he came into this world for performing his leela, for the satisfaction of his devotees. Therefore, we should understand that the Lord appearing in this world is not for his own pleasure. Of course, he gets pleasure by being with his devotees and giving pleasure to his devotees. But the main purpose is for elevating, uplifting the devotees who are in this world, the people who are in this world. That is the main purpose of why he has appeared in this world. So, dharana is what is will focus in this particular sloka. Dharana means, but before explaining what dharana means, pratyahara. Pratyahara in Ashtanga Yoga, the fifth the fifth one is called pratyahara. Pratyahara means where controlling the indriyas, the senses, somewhere, somewhere, controlling the senses. When the senses are going everywhere, we are trying to pull all those different senses and bringing to one particular point, right? Controlling the senses, bringing it to one point is different thing, but then engaging those senses in a right way. Right now my eyes are just going and looking, searching for so many different things. My ears are looking for so many different things. My nose, my tongue, my touch sense, all those things are looking for so many different things. Pratyahara is where we are trying to control the indriyas to focus on something else rather than where it wants to go. We are going behind the senses, whereas when we try to bring the senses under our control, that is called pratyahara in Ashtanga Yoga. Now let my eyes focus on the beautiful form of Krishna. Let my nose smell the tulasi flower, the fragrance and the garlands that's offered to Krishna. And let my ears hear the stories of Krishna Katha. Let my tongue taste and honor the bhoga that's offered to Krishna, and let my tongue vibrate the name of Krishna. Likewise, engaging these senses by not letting it go wherever it want to go, and but focusing in our direction where we want to put the senses is called pratyahara. Pratyahara. So for to do this one, we need to have vairagya. Vairagya means a complete detachment, or it's also called renunciation, also called detachment. Vairagya as a strong desire, a vairagya to give up certain things in our life. And when we talk about these things, people get afraid. Especially we talk about these things to the newcomers, the people who are, this is why I told you yesterday. I was I was just in office. I was just talking to one of my colleagues, and he said my son is completely into the path of atheism. He doesn't believe in God, and so on. So as an Indian born boy in over here in America, but then doesn't believe in God, doesn't believe in scriptures. He goes and talks about there's no God. And um, he said, would you like to talk to my son? Of course, I can talk to him. I can try to talk to him. But then he said one more thing. I know you are very much into the spirituality, but when you talk to my son, just keep it very light. Keep it very light. Then I understood. Okay, so that means that's all right. So you don't. In other words, he's telling, don't make my son like you. That's the point he was trying to drive. I said, that's no problem. I'll be careful. We can meet with your son. So, but then the thing is that people doesn't want to accept this. That's a term, the principle called vairagyam, because they think that vairagya means renunciation. You have to give up everything. Let me tell you something. Vairagyam, either you take it voluntarily or it will be forced on us. That's the truth. Krishna knows how to make us become serious in our life. Therefore, it's always better vairagyam. You go to doctor one fine day, doctor will tell, oh, you know what? I'm sorry to say, from now you cannot take sweets. Then immediately vairagyam comes to us. You go to the home program, they offer you the sweet rice or rasgulla or whatever. I don't take sweets. Prabhu, last Sunday you were taking sweets. You took my plate also, you took and ate. What about now you're not eating? Vairagyam. I will not take sweets anymore. Wow, you're a great devotee, Prabhu. But he's not telling you have diabetics. He's not telling that fact. Now he's telling he's not want to eat sweets. Right? Likewise, when doctor says don't eat this one, or when certain things happen, we'll stop doing things, vairagyam comes. The point, vairagyam is not an alien thing for us. We are all following vairagyam in some way or the other. Some way, that's the truth. So do not think that this is not for us. Therefore, as much as possible, we have to develop that vairagyam, that let me control my eyes. Yes, my eyes goes right there. Let me pull it back. Right? I should not see that one. We are not yogis, by the way. Therefore, we are in this world, we are dealing, we are seeing, we are hearing so many things, but we are conscious entity. It's not that we are jada, it doesn't have intelligence. When we see something, we know this, seeing this is not a good thing to see, just turn around and do something else. right? That is exactly what is pratyahara. Pratyahara is trying to pull the senses out of the unwanted things and then just not keep it, engage that into something else, which is more productive, which is going to help, which is going to purify the senses. And that's only through Krishna consciousness. Only through Krishna. That is pratyahara. So then after you controlling the senses could be a nice thing. One person may be very good in fasting and not watching movies or not reading news, and all those things are very good. Try to bring the mind off, try to bring the senses off from those different sources. But then the problem is, even though you bring those things out of it, the mind is constantly thinking about the same thing. Yes or no? Yeah. So you may tell Prabhu, I'm fasting today, Ekadeshi. Very good. Uh, in Bhagavad Sankalpa, on that day you will start feeling hungry. Right? You will feel that is when you want to eat nice hot khichdi and or paratha or jackfruit biryani by Hari Krishna. You can think of all those wonderful things. That's when Ekadeshi is when all the menus run in our mind. Tomorrow morning, I have to break the fast with what? Breaking the fast with drop of water is enough if you're taking nirjal, if you're doing nirjal. Taking a small grain, Jagannath rice grain prasadam, that is also enough. But we will prepare a big feast and menu for the next day morning. Not even necessary. But anyway, that's good to do as a devotee. Now, the point here is that mind will constantly keep thinking about those things, even those senses. Therefore, dharana is we're trying to control the mind, bring the mind into the focus of on the Lord. That is called dharana, and that is what is explained in this particular sloka. Iti mati upakalpita vitrishna bhagavati satmatva pungave vibhumni swasukam upagata kvachit vihartum prakritim upeshu yad bhava pravaha. This is dharana, trying to bring the mind into the focus of the lotus feet of Krishna. That is called dharana. That is dharana. And then the next verse is going to speak about dhyana. There's a difference between dharana and dhyana. Dharana stands only for some period. It will have an interruption. There will be a break. You think about Krishna, close your eyes and think about Krishna, and then immediately after a few seconds, some other thought comes. Right? Then again try to control the mind, again bring the focus of the mind towards Krishna, again your focus on Krishna. Not for long. Within another few more minutes, again mind goes to something else. So this is the stage of dharana. There will be interruption in our focus. Mind focusing the mind, there will be interruption. Or there could be interruption where you focus given period of the time, then you have to take care of other responsibilities and duties. So there's an interruption also. Even if mind doesn't interrupt, then you get interrupted due to other things also. Right? There are many things happens. Therefore, this stage is called dharana stage. But dhyana is a stage where dhyana is also called bhakti, by the way. When we talk about bhakti yoga, bhakti upasanam, dhyanam, nididhyasanam, bhakti, these are all synonyms. They're all meant the same. Okay, they are all different words for the same thing. Dhyana and bhakti is all pretty much same. Upasanam is also same. So here, dhyana is said with the mind. In the dharana, mind get interrupted. In dhyana, mind does not get interrupted. There is a constant flow without splitter, without any deviation. There is a constant thought process towards that object of worship. Now, when you go to some meditation classes, they try to do all the things. They try to take this pen and look at the tip of the pen. Focus on that one, like this. Focus on this. Or they try to do this. This is another famous exercise they try to do, right? They put a dot on a whiteboard or something. And I don't know if you can see this thing over here, like this. Focus on this dot. You see the dot? Focus on the dot. Is the dot as the transcendental qualities? The pen, tip of the pen is Shuddha Sattvam. transcendental. When we try to meditate on something, what we are trying to do is to purify our consciousness. How can the tip of the pen can purify my consciousness? How can this dot purify my consciousness? This is this is influenced by the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Three modes are there in this. This is also has three modes. When we are associating with the three modes, how can we expect something to purify our consciousness into mode of goodness? Simple thing, right? So therefore, the point here is for devotees to do dharana or dhyana, we do not focus on the tip of the pen, tip of the, of course, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says the tip of the nose, right? Like that. We don't need to do all those things. Taila dharavat avichinna. Tailam means oil. Taila dharavat means when the oil is poured, when you pour the oil, how does it come? You don't see that it's splattering everywhere. When you open the tap, when you take shower, you open the tap, the water splatters everywhere. When you at the same time you go into the oil shop, nowadays you don't find oil shop in India, and villages is still there, but they have this barrel, big barrel full of oil, coconut oil, sesame seed oil, peanut oil. They open the barrel, that small tap, and you see the Staila Taravati. Just there's no splattering also. It just comes like a thick rod or a steel, just comes straight. The thought process, that is called dhyana. Dhyana is where your thought does not go anywhere. It doesn't get disturbed by any other thing. That is the stage called dhyana stage. Upanishad Atma Vare Dastavyaha Sotavyaha Mantavyaha Nidityasti Tavyaha. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says that therefore Atma Vare, my dear one, this is a conversation between a rishi and his wife. Therefore, we have to start strotavyam. We have to start hearing. When you start hearing, then you mantavya. You have to contemplate on what you heard. And nidityastavya. Then you continuously meditate upon those things. By doing so, drastavya, you will see the absolute truth. Krishna standing in front of you. Everything starts strotavyam, mantavyam, nididya. Continue. This is exactly what has been told in this particular sloka, 32. 33 that we are going to see now speaks about the next stage is called dhyana. Dhyana is where you are focused so much so there is no disturbance at all. Let's go to the 32nd, the 33rd sloka. Tribhuvana kamanam tamala varnam ravikara ghaura vara ambaram dadhane vapuralaka kulavritanubhajam Vijaya Sakiratil Astume Anvadhya Astume Anvadhya. So here he is telling that let my attraction to be Ratir means attraction. Let my desire, my interest, my attraction, let that be focused on Vijaya Saki. Vijaya Saki. Vijaya Saki means Vijaya, means Arjuna's other name is Vijaya. Friend of Vijaya. Friend Vijaya Saki means unto the friend of Vijaya, let my attraction be focused towards him. Now here is explaining a beautiful thing about if someone tells you meditate on Krishna, who in the universal form, this is exactly what happened between Parikshit Maharaj and Śukadeva Goswami. Śukadeva Goswami says, now you have to start meditating on the Lord. How do you do that? Consider the Lord head as one planetary system, and neck is this another planet. This chest is another planet, and he goes all this planetary system of his body. And this part is like this, that is like this. He just started explaining everything. And then Parikshit Maharaj, this is how I have to meditate on the universal form of that. This is how I have to meditate upon Krishna. This is going to be challenging. It's going to be very difficult for me to meditate upon him. I cannot meditate like him. Then he said, okay, no problem. Then he said, how about this form? What form? He said, Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamala Varnam Ravikara. This is not what Śukadeva Goswami said to Parikshit Maharaj, but it's pretty much the same. Ravikara Ghaura Vara Varambharam Ambaram Dadhani Vapur Alaka. Now he says that, how about this form? What form? This form which satisfies all the three planetary systems. When we say three planetary system, it includes 14 planetary system. Upper, middle, and lower. Altogether 14 planets, right? Up middle is Bhu, and then above is the all the lokas are there, 6 lokas, and then bottom are 7 talas. So lower planetary system, middle planetary system, upper planetary system, three bhuvana. We can take that in that sense, three bhuvana. He gives happiness and pleasure and joy to all the world, that particular Kamanam. Tamala Varnam, Tamal tree. There's a tree called Tamal tree. Tamala Varnam, the bluish like Tamal tree. The tree is a dark bluish color. So who has this beautiful color, Tamala Varnam, Ravi Kara Gaura Varambharam. Varambharam means Ravi Kara. Ravi means sun rays. Gaura means gold. Gauranga, right? Gaura. Ravi Kara Gaura Varambharam means glittering. He wears this beautiful sun, golden, glittering garments. Yellow garment, in other words. If you say yellow garment, Pitambaram, it's what has been with poetic words beautifully said. Ravikara Gaura Varambharam Dadhane, he wears it. Vapuhu means body. Alaka Kula Avrta. Alaka Kula Avrta, his body is nicely smeared with the sandalwood pulp. Anana Abjam, and his face is like a beautiful lotus flower. And just imagine like this, the one who gives pleasure to all the planetary system, who wears this beautiful yellow garment, and then whose his body is painted or smeared with the sandalwood paste, and whose face is like lotus flower. Who is friend of Vijaya Sakhi? Vijaya Sakhi means who's friend of Arjuna. Who's friend of Arjuna? Rati Astu. Astu means let me be attracted to this beautiful face, beautiful Krishna. And how he finishes, may Anavadya means without having any other motive in my life. When we go to the temple, we should have with no motive other than to please Krishna and his devotees. Why do you go to temple? Why do you go to temple? Certain conditions will be there. But then he said, let me get attracted to Krishna without any other desires. Without any other desire. I should not have any other desire. That's a very important thing. The great sages thinks like that. In the Dhamodara Ashtakam, the Rishi speaks. Varandeva moksham na moksham vadimva nachanyam vrineham varesatapiha idam te vapurnata gopala bhalam sadhame manasya virastam kimanyaihi. And though he prays, the only thing that I'm just asking, the benediction that I'm asking is not for liberation, not to go to Swargaloka, not to be in this world for the rest of my life, nothing. I'm just praying for only one thing. Sadha me manasya. What do you want? In my mind, let me always remember the beautiful form, the Balagopal form, this beautiful pastime. Let me remember this always. Likewise, Bhishma is also praying to the same way. Let me remember the beautiful form of the Lord. Hmm? It is very important to understand the difference between the form of the Lord. The form of the Lord has two types. Rupam, and another is called Swarupam. Rupam, Swarupam. Rupam, Swarupam means the Rupam of the Lord is explained in the scriptures in different way. The Rupam of the Lord can be considered as a universal form that Krishna explains in the 11th chapter, shows the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He shows his universal form, like how everything, whether it's a living, whether it's a matter or a spirit, that is conscious entity or an unconscious entity, everything is part and parcel of Krishna. Everything is part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore, he showed that universal form. That is also a form of Rupam, which is very difficult for a common person to even digest. That even theoretically it's so very hard to understand that So it's very hard. But it was fortunate, Arjuna was fortunate to see that form. But not everyone is fortunate to see that form. That Rupam is very difficult to see. And how can we even meditate like that? Parishit Maharaj said, it's not possible for me to meditate like that. Therefore, we see Bharha Pitam Natavara Vapahu. So Krishna is in a beautiful form where easily we can perceive him. He carries a flute, he wears his peacock feather on his head, and then he walks in the forest of the Vrindavan. Like all this beautiful, his color is like a tamal tree, his lips is like a bimba fruit, his eyes are like a big lotus petal, and he wears a karna, in his ears, he wearing that a sharp earring. So when we think about this form, it's so very attractive, it's so very beautiful. So nice. This rupam, this is one type of rupam, is called rupam. Swarupam is a natural rupam, which is nothing but it is nityam, it is eternal, is full of anandam, is full of jnana. Sat, chit, and ananda. That is a swarupam. Is essential nature is sat, chit, and ananda. But if I tell you, let's meditate upon Satchit Ananda. Come on. What does it mean? First of all, we can understand Sat means what, Chit means what, Jnanam means what, Ananda means what. We can understand these things theoretically. Now we are telling, now yoga class teacher is telling, meditate on Satchitananda Rupam of the Lord. What am I going to do? How does it even look like? How can I put a figure into Sat, Chit, and Ananda? Yeah. We can put the figure in the Rupam, in transcendental Krishna's beautiful form. That is the only way that we can all meditate on Krishna. That's the only way we can do this one. Krishna is full of Anandam, Krishna is full of Jnana, Krishna is Nityam, always Nityam. That is Brahm, Anandam. When we say this one, people may say, well, is always Anandam or sometime Anandam? Is sometime happy or always happy? Because the question that we ask is, we compare ourselves with Krishna, right? We are sometime happy, sometime we are not happy. That is always the case with us. Hmm? But what about Krishna? Well, Satchit Anandam is always Anandam. No, 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 no. That doesn't seem to be the case. Didn't Rama cry? Didn't Rama cry? Didn't Krishna cry himself when he was a baby? Krishna also cried. How can you say is an Anandam all the time? Therefore, in the Brahma Sutram, Veda Vyasa said, Lokavatu Leela Kaivalyam. There's one Sutram called Lokavatu Leela Kaivalyam. The Lord performs these things as a Leela. We should understand that too. And when we are not performing out of Leela, we can't. I'm crying today, Prabhu. I'm decided to cry today, Prabhu. That's my Leela. I decided to get an arrow hit on my neck over here. That is my Leela. Right? I let someone to slap on me. That's my Leela, Prabhu. We don't tell these things. That's not our Leela. You're suffering, my friend. You're suffering. Yes, sir. But Krishna is not like Loka Vattu Leela Kaivali. He does all these things out of his pleasure. Even that thing brings in pleasure. And by doing that, he creates a pleasure in the heart of his devotee. That's another thing for us to understand. Therefore, when the Lord descends here, it takes the form in the form that it attracts and brings people um, somehow or the other to uplift the people to get out of this loka and go to spiritual world. That is loka number 33. Now, I just want to pause here and ask a question. Um, if anyone is planning to go to the temple today, and His Grace Anutama Prabhu is there, and he's going to give a class at 7:30. And I just don't want to go until 7 or thing and then make it difficult for you all. If anyone over here is planning to go to the temple, or let me know, I'll just stop here. Or if you're planning to take it online, then we can proceed and you can take online. Anyone here is planning to go to the temple?
I will drop Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I didn't ask you to drop. That's not my intention. But yeah, you're okay if we continue then?
Sure, Prabhu.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, thank you. So let's move on to the 34th sloka. I was thinking we can cover at least 5 slokas today and the next Saturday 5 slokas, but let's see how it goes. Okay, let's move on to the sloka number 3, which is in the sequence is sloka number 34. Okay. Yudi Duraga Rajo Vidhumra Vishva Kwacha Lulita Samavari Alamkritasye Mama Nishita Sarir Sharir Vibidyamana Tvachi Vilasat Kavacha Astu Krishnatma. Yudhi Dhuraga. Dhuraga means horses. Dhuraga. Yudhi means in the battlefield. Dhuraga means horses. Right. So in when Krishna was a young child, in a childhood pastime was Yashoda was so very upset because every time she dresses him nicely, he goes and get full of dust everywhere. He comes like that, and he says, "I'm mom. I'm Krishna. Krishna is more beautiful when he is as he is." Right? We may be thinking that we sometimes we ask this, Prabhu, who did the deity dressing today? We ask this one. It's so wonderful, so beautiful. But Krishna doesn't need any of this wonderful, beautiful ornaments and dresses and all those things. He himself is beautiful without any of these things. But all these things are done because for our satisfaction, for our eyes, for our eyes. Krishna is more beautiful with his diaper when he was childhood, or without even that. That is how the great Rishi sings and glorifies Krishna. When he's like a small baby, is so very beautiful. On top of the beautiful transcendental tender body, you put all this, dhoti and necklace and bangles. How can you do this one? He is a small baby. How can you put a load on the small body? Right? That's how we should also be thinking how Krishna is. So here, Yudhi Dhuraga Rajo, Dhuraga Raja means dust. So this is also very important. Sometimes when we read our slokas here, many times, if you're not familiar with these terms, we use we pronounce or we read out wrongly. Raja, if you instead of telling Raja, you say Raja, the meaning is totally different. For example, Vasudev and Vasudev are two different personalities. Many times we hear that devotees get confused and they say they call Vasudev as Vasudev, Vasudev, Vasudev. Because Vasudev is we are familiar with Vasudev, we call Vasudev also Vasudev. Right? Therefore, it's important where we have to pronounce also. Rajaha means dust, Raja means king. Now, Vidhumra. Now, what happens is that in the battlefield, now we have to get into the Kurukṣetra field. Mentally, we have to turn because the upcoming few slokas is all happening in Kurukṣetra. Right? Because Bhīṣma is focusing on that particular scene, what took place in battlefield. Now, in the battlefield, Krishna was there, and then there are a lot of hundreds and thousands of horses, just running here and there, and the dust that get raised from the ground, and it all goes and sticks into the body of Krishna. This is where the meditation comes, right? We have to just focus how that is going to be, right? Krishna is driving the chariot, and then all the chariots have so many chariots and horses running, then you can imagine how the dust will raise up. And these some of the dust, Rajaha, Vidhumra, it just gets stuck into the transcendental body of Krishna. And then it started, how it is to see is like when there's a dust and the sun is shining, and there's a glittering thing on the body. It glitters. It glitters. So that has been explained over here. Yudhi Dhuraga Rajo Vidhumra Vishwakacha. And then as he was on as a charioteer, as he was riding the chariot, his hairs were waving here and there, scattered everywhere. Shamavari, this is a beautiful term. Shamavari means perspiration. He started sweating. Krishna started sweating. If it is God, if it is transcendental body, Prabhu, what is all this thing? How can he sweat? It's a transcendental body. His body is not made of Rajas, Tamas, and Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and Sattvaguna. None of these things. It's full of Shuddha Sattva, transcendental. How is that he can sweat? His body is not made of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And how is it possible? His perspiration can take place in his body. So this is to tell Bhīṣma, this is a message that is conveying to Bhīṣma Dev that I am working hard for my devotee. The commentaries are so beautiful. I am working hard for my devotee. Right? Krishna is really working hard. He sweats for his devotee. This is the truth. We may be thinking that I am working hard to become Krishna consciousness, Prabhu. I'm trying my best. But the fact is that what we are trying is not even 1% of what Krishna is trying to get us back. That's the truth. Krishna is trying to somehow, he sweats to somehow or the other get this guy out of this place. What can I do? I'm trying to pull, he comes one step and he falls 2 steps down. Just imagine we fall into the well, deep well, and then we take 1 step up, but then falls 2 steps down. You do the math now. You're going 1 step up, falls 2 steps down. When are we ever going to get out of the well? That means you're never going to get out of the well because you're always behind 1 step. That means you're not going to be out of the well. That's the situation we are in. We are all in a way that on a particular day we are very strong in our practices and become very nice. Like Kripamaya Prabhu in yesterday's class, he was using this term. He was telling that pure devotee syndrome. It was a nice term he used actually. Pure devotee syndrome. We think ourselves as a pure devotee. Everyone else are impure. I am the only pure devotee. This comes, especially this comes in the beginning stage of Krishna consciousness. And what happens? That goes away. Then what happens is then we become aware of what philosophy is, what Krishna is, what Jivatma is, or what to be servant, everything we know. Now we know. That period goes for some period of time. Again, when that goes, that comes to a point where now you see, I am pure. Again, the same thing which happened when I started Krishna consciousness, that comes again saying that now I'm pure, because initially I thought pure. Actually, that's not true, because I was not knowing any slokas, I was not doing services, I was not humble, nothing. Now I am humble. This is the first thing. I'm very humble now. I'm very charitable now. I know all the shastras now. I'm doing a lot of service now. Pure devotee. I am the pure devotee in ISKCON of St. Louis. Why is ISKCON of St. Louis? I have attended other temples also. I see I'm the only devotee, nice devotee, right? So the point again is that things comes. Things comes. Now, Krishna, let's come back here. Kocha Lulita, Samavari, but Krishna is the one who's really working hard. He sweats to get his devotee out of. It's giving a lot of opportunities. Opportunities in a favorable way and opportunity in a challenging way. So we realize that yes, this is Krishna's mercy is coming in this form. Therefore, devotees, it is the practice of Krishna consciousness for all of us is to see everything as Krishna's mercy. Right? Not only when favorable things happens, favorable things according to us. We have some things, right? These are favorable for us, these are unfavorable for us. But in Krishna consciousness, there is nothing called unfavorable. Everything is favorable. On the material standard, something can be unfavorable. But in Krishna consciousness, those of us who are practicing Krishna consciousness, everything is favorable because Krishna is leading our life. Krishna is leading our life. Therefore, Krishna definitely going to do that is favorable in my life, which may not be so for the eyes of other people. But for me, I know that Krishna is favoring me by doing certain things in my life. Therefore, Krishna is sweating Shamavari is taking Shramam. Shramam is challenges, difficulties. He's taking difficulties. But the point, again, coming back to the sloka, is that these dust is all over his body is glittering so beautifully, and the hair that is kesham means the hair that he has, Krishna hair is so beautiful, is wavering as he was driving this chariot. It alankrita, it decorates his faces also. In Chennai, where I am from, there is one temple called Parthasarathi temple. Parthasarathi temple, out of 108 Divya Desham. This is one of the Divya Desham in Chennai, Madras, which is just very close to my house. When you happen to go to the temple, or if you have not noticed this one, when you go to the temple next time again, if at all you get a chance, you can see there is Utsava Murti, Parthasarathi, where you can see on his faces everywhere the deity would not look normal, clean, like how you see our Krishna Balaram deity or Radha Krishna deity, polished, so shining and so nice. Whereas this particular deity, it won't be like it, like an Asian deity with lot of dots everywhere on his face, everywhere, because he's a Parthasarathi. What he did was he was taking all the hit of Bhīṣma. Bhīṣma only aimed Arjuna, but Krishna took all on himself. All on himself. That is when you go to the temple, it's just so beautiful. When you see this Krishna, what are you doing? Why you have to go through all these things? Why you have to go through all this labor, shamam? Why you have to take this one? But then even those marks on his face look so very beautiful. That is what has been told by Mama Nishita Sarair, which is an arrow. Sarair means arrows. My sharp arrows. You took all my sharp arrows. So save your devotee. You became a kavacha. It's not that the kavach armor, Arjuna was wearing the armor around his chest and he was holding all this thing. That is not that is not Arjuna's protection. The real protection armor for Arjuna was Krishna was standing in the front, sitting in the front. Krishna was his real protection. Likewise, when we have Krishna in front of us, we will be protected. Whereas when we try to keep so many other factors to protect us, minus Krishna, or even we have Krishna in the front and try to have other factors to protect us, is like what happened in Ramayana. I got to tell this one. In Ramayana, what happened is that Indrajit, Hanuman came, right? Hanuman destroyed the whole place over there and killed many Rakshasas. And somehow the other, at the time Indrajit comes and with a Brahmastra, he tied Hanuman. Hanuman was bound. Here's the point. When Hanuman was a child, he got a boon from all the devatas. They all said, gave all the boons, including this particular Brahma himself said, even Brahmasam cannot do anything to you. So he had a boon already in place. But then out of respect, Hanuman did just do pranam and just kept quiet to give the respect to the Astram, Brahmasam. Brahmasam tied him over, right? Now what happened is, this foolish Rakshasas, right? What they did was, they wanted to make sure he doesn't escape. When you're tied by Brahmastram, no way you can escape. Ordinary person cannot escape. Hanuman wanted, he could have done, but then he didn't want to. He wanted to pay respect. Therefore, they thought, what in case if he breaks Brahmastram and goes off? Therefore, they brought some ropes, brought some other things, and started tying him more tighter. As soon as they did this one, Brahmastram released itself. No one noticed that one. It's the Astra by Mantram, right? It released itself. That means at that point of time, Hanuman was not captured by Brahmastra, it was ordinary ropes. The point we have to understand is, Brahmastra it has its position. Brahmastra thought, if you don't trust on me and trusting on this ordinary ropes is an insult for me, I will not stay here. It just released itself. Mama nishita sarer vibidhyamana tvachi vilasat kavacha. So the kavacham, what I'm trying to say this by this thing is that when we have Krishna in front of us, our kavacham protection, we don't need anyone else as our protection. We don't need to go to this devata, that person, and this person. Krishna will take care of us. That is a Mahavishwasa Purvakam. One of the Sharanagati limbs of one of the Sharanagati, Mahavishwasam. That Mahavishwasam we should have. That Krishna will protect me at any time. That Vishwasam should be there. If we don't have that, it's very difficult then. Now, Kacha Lulita Shamavari. Kacha Lulita Shamavari, when Krishna was a little baby, was a little child, Krishna was sweating, running out of fear of Mother Yashoda. That's all about Damodara Ashtakam. He was just out of fear. He don't know what to do. He was running. And at some point of time, he also sweats. His tummy crumbles. He becomes as if he's going to fall out of hunger. Krishna does all these dramas, by the way. He wants to eat something. Oh, mama, I'm very hungry. I'm feeling like I'm going to faint. Oh. And then immediately Yashoda will bring nice items to eat. He said, oh, I can't eat all these heavy items. I want something very light, which can easily go into I put into my mouth. It's easily just melts and goes inside. Give me something like that. I can't eat all this paratha, roti, chapati, halwa, and all those things. And then Yashoda will understand, you're doing natak, drama. You want butter. That is what you want. So she brings butter and gives to Krishna, and Krishna eats, and his anger goes, his sweat goes, it crumbling of tummy goes off, it becomes normal. He does all these dramas. Krishna does all these wonderful dramas. But the point here is that what we should understand from this particular sloka is Kocha Lulita Samavari means the Lord sweats for his devotee, the Lord sweats to give pleasure to Mother Yashoda, the Lord sweats walking from Dwaraka to Astinapur, Indraprastha to Astinapur. He sweats as a messenger. He drives the chariot and he sweats for his devotee. He does all these different things. But we never heard anywhere in the scriptures that Lord sweat when he created this world. We don't hear that. One has to sweat when you're creating this entire Prakriti. Prakriti, by the way, Prakriti is not created, it exists, it comes and goes, that's all. But anyway, what I'm trying to say, when he was creating this universe, it was our Ramu Reddy Prabhu, Ramananda Prabhu will tell he does all some great services at the temple. Then he will immediately order, Prabhu, can you make lemonade? And he'll be sweating. He'll be sweating, and he definitely need lemonade. He never get me lemonade. I want to drink lemonade. We never heard in any Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, Isho Upanishad, and all the Lord drank a glass of lemonade after creating the 14 planetary systems. Took a break for a minute, and then next he went to the next universe and created, and he was perspiring, he's sweating so much, he became so tired. No statements like that. But interesting enough, but when he was driving the chariot, when he was running out of fear from his mother, he was sweating. What a Leela. Atimanushas, this is not an ordinary human act. Atimanusham. This cannot be a human act at all. It's beyond one's imagination of what Krishna is trying to do. Mama Nishita Sharira. Therefore, this whole thing, the dust which stuck on his body and faces and on his hair, and the arrow marks in his faces, it just to give a pleasure to his devotee. Let my mind go towards that Krishna. Krishna Atma, Astu Krishna Atma. Tvachi Velasat Kavache Astu Krishna Atma. Let my mind, here Atma is not soul. Here in this context, Atma has many meanings. In this context, Atma means mind. Let my mind be captivated by that Krishna who's in Yuddha Bhumi, where the dust of the horse is stuck on his faces and the wavering, beautiful hair became a decoration. Not only that, the arrows that I released, which stuck on him and became a wound on his face, became a beautiful mark as the identity of how he is a Bhakta Vatsala. Let my mind get attracted to that Supreme Lord, Śrī Krishna. So that completes the 34th sloka and 35th sloka. I think we may have to pause here. It's getting close to 7, and I don't want to rush at this point, if that is okay. So what we have seen are these slokas, 32nd sloka, where dharana, how the mind has to be focused. And as we focus, yes, mind is going to be interrupted, but we try to bring the mind back on Bhagavati. Bhagavati is Bhagavan, who is full of 6 opulences. And she exhibited a simplicity, Satvata Pungave, by appearing among the devotees in this earth planet. Even though he is appeared up into this earth planet, Vibhomni is great. Is not an ordinary person like you and I who took birth in this world. Therefore, he is Vibhomni, Swasukham, Swasukham. He is self-satisfied and he came into this world taking a form where we all can conceive, perceive the transcendental form. So that is explained. Let us meditate on that beautiful form. From whom everything get created, he appeared into that creation itself. Then in the 33rd sloka, Tribhuvana Kamana Tamala Varnam, Ravikara Gaura Vara Ambharam Dadhani, Vapuralaka. So over here, he said, the one who gives the joy and happiness to all the planetary systems, and who appeared on his own desire into this world, and whose form is the complex. He had a complexion of Tamala Varnam. The Varnam is color, Tamal tree is color, and who was wearing the yellow garment, Pitambaram, Ravikara Gaura Varambaram. Ambaram means dress, or the dhoti, Ambaram. Varambaram, glittering dress, glittering dhoti. Dadani, he was wearing. Vapuku, his body was covered by the beautiful, with the sandalwood pulp paste, and his face was like a lotus flower whose friend of Vijaya Sakhe. Vijaya Sakhe, Ratirattume Anavadhya. Let my mind be focused on this beautiful form, beautiful face of Krishna, not to anything else other than that. And his form is decorated with the dust that raised above the ground by the horses in the battlefield of Kurukṣetra, where his hairs are also having the dust everywhere. This happens sometimes. We can see the girls who are getting ready for marriage. They have some glittering things on their hair, right? Glitters like that. But Krishna did not go to any of these things. Naturally, by the dust, it came and just stuck on his hairs, glittering hairs, and his face was so beautiful, but he was perspiring, or sweating, and the arrow marks that he took on his faces became a decoration for himself. Let my mind get attracted to this Lord in this beautiful form in Kurukṣetra form, who is a kavacha, who was a protection to his friend. So we saw 3 slokas now. I was thinking of hoping to cover 5 slokas, but only 3 slokas we covered. We can pause here and we can pick up next Saturday to continue the rest. I'm not sure if you have to have any question and answer session here. If anyone wants to share something, please feel free to. We have
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. May I ask something?
Yes, please.
Just very quickly, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, it's a realization kind of thing. In regards to the word Atma.
Yeah.
Atma, when we say that Ma means no, like Ma Sucha. So can we think about like Atma as like I am not? Ma,
That type of explanation is not given. In the Amara Kosham is a dictionary where it's been explained. Take a word and they give what are the different meanings for that one. I'm not sure if Atma has been, I am not is being explained. At least I have not read or I have not heard. I'm not a Pandit in this one. Let me see. Bhupal Prabhu, you are here? Are you hearing?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Is there a meaning of Atma to be I am not that you can think of?
I don't know, Prabhu. I've not heard it either.
Okay, you can ask your sister. By the way, Bhupal Prabhu's sister is a professor, Sanskrit professor in Orissa. She's a very learned person and scholarly person. Maybe you can check with her, Prabhu. But as far as I know, I don't think that type of explanation is given.
Yes, Prabhuji. It was just like a thought, or I don't know what it was. It just
That
came
type
to my
of
mind.
that type of breakdown has not been given.
Not really. Okay,
Not
Prabhuji.
been
Yes,
given.
Hare Krishna. But thank you so much, Prabhuji, for explaining it so beautifully. And always to hear from you is like a blessing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Atma also means sun. Atma also means mind. Atma is Atma. Atma can be made referred to Paramatma also, and they're different things, but never heard of this. I am not as an Atma. Never read that one. Okay, Prabhu? But
Okay.
Bhupal Prabhu can confirm later. Anything else? Oh, by the way, Atma also sometimes I think represent Prakriti also. But that's why the in Bhagavad Gita, the usage of terms creates a lot of confusion, depends on which school of thoughts you fall into. There's a lot of doubt of interpretation of how the words have been used.
Yes.
Okay, I'll pause here if there's nothing else. Thank you all very much for your association. Let's meditate on the three slokas of Bhīṣma Stuti, the first three slokas, and come back again next Saturday to hear more what Bhīṣma has to say, Bhīṣma Dev has to say. Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Meet you all tomorrow 5 a.m. With devotee sharing. Whoever is going to share, we're eagerly waiting to hear that. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Well done.
Hare Krishna.